on today, guys? I'm back doing YouTube videos. I took a little bit of a break. Well, for one, there wasn't a ton going on in between the end of hunting season and now. We did shoot a few snow geese. I didn't do a video, just went with some buddies. And then I tried to film a fishing video in Cancun, but the video was all in slow-mo, so we didn't get anything out of that. But what we're doing today is a broadhead video. So I picked up this broadhead today. It's the Magnus Bullhead, and what it is it's a 3-blade broadhead. It's 125 grains, and it's designed to actually harvest turkeys by shooting them in the head or neck. And the design behind it is to actually cut the head or neck off. And obviously what that means for you guys is you don't have to track your birds. It's an instant kill. It's as ethical and close to a shotgun that I have found. So I have not shot these broadheads yet. I've seen them in the past. I know people that have shot them. Everyone that uses them loves them. So I figured, why not try them out this year? So I'm doing a before the season video, which is what I'm doing right now. I'll just go over a few basic things about the broadhead, how to shoot them, maybe even a few things about how to tune your bow with them. But for now, this is the broadhead. Stay tuned for more. All right, so I'm just gonna touch on a few things regarding this broadhead that, you know, if you wanna go to Shields, pick up a pack, just 3 things to keep in mind. The first thing, these broadheads come in a pack with 3 broadheads, which is awesome. They come in 100 grain and 125 grain. The 125 grain is gonna be a bigger cutting diameter, and honestly, it's what I would recommend. Granted, my bow is tuned to shoot 125, but I'd recommend just get that bigger cutting diameter so you have a better chance. You have a larger margin for error when it comes to actually hunting in the field. The second option that they have is actually the option I went with. It's a 2 broadhead, 2 arrow pack. So what that means is you get a full length arrow like I have here. It's a Victory arrow, so it's a good quality arrow, and it's actually designed for these broadheads. So let me take it out here. So regarding this arrow, you'll notice it's a 4-fletch with feathers. So what that means is, in order to direct this massive broadhead, you need to have traction on the back of your arrow here. So your standard arrows, like here's my Victory TKOs right here. You can see these are standard 3-fletch arrows. They're very small. They're gonna shoot really fast, but the issue with that is you're just not gonna have enough steering power to steer these big broadheads. So that's the first thing about the arrow. The second thing is, as I will demonstrate right now, I have a 28.5-inch draw length, and so what that means is I have shorter arrows. So this specific broadhead, as you can see, there's a lot going on up here. So as you're drawing your bow back, which I'll demonstrate here shortly, you want to make sure the broadhead is going to clear both the sight housing and your riser. So that could be 2 big issues. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to draw back. So if you look at the broadhead up there, see how if one of those blades were to be turned upright, it would hit my sight housing unit. So we want to avoid that. So you're going to have to make sure your blades are going to clear your housing unit as well as the riser there, obviously. So these are full-length arrows that come in the pack. I would highly recommend just spend the 50 bucks, get the 2 broadheads, get the 2 arrows. It's going to be a lot better setup. You're not going to have to refletch your arrows for a 4-fletch with bigger vanes like these feather vanes, and you're going to guarantee that you have enough distance in arrow length to clear your riser, because you don't want to lose a finger and you don't want to hit your sight housing. All right, so how they recommend to shoot these broadheads, which I 100% recommend you shoot these broadheads before you actually take them out into the field. Like I said, there's a lot going on up here. You got a different arrow setup. For most people, this is going to be a lot heavier setup that they're actually shooting. Just go out and shoot the arrows before you go. It's not that big of a pain. Don't shoot them into your regular target. All this going on up here is going to mess that up. So what they recommend to do is hang a pillow from a tree, 2x4s, PVC pipe, whatever you got. just get a pillow from Walmart. I picked this one up today for $6. They're cheap. Go get a pillow, stick tape on it or write on it with a Sharpie, whatever, I don't care, just something that you can aim at. And what's gonna happen is this pillow is gonna be absorb the kinetic energy from this broadhead and arrow setup that's a lot heavier like I was talking about, and it's gonna be able to absorb that. It's not gonna ruin the arrow, it's not gonna ruin the blades, it's not gonna ruin the ferrule, nothing like that. From the research I've done, it's the best way to do it. So that's what I'm gonna do today. Like I said, I have yet to shoot these. This is actually my first time ever shooting them, but the bow should be tuned properly. It was tuned for fixed blade broadheads at one point this year, and then I switched to expandables. It didn't switch anything up. So it should be good. It should be good to go tune wise. Another thing they recommend, don't do this on a windy day. I'm doing it on a windy day because it's all I had time for, and the season opens next week. Just being windier, your pillow's gonna be moving. There's a lot going on up here. Chances are you're gonna have a lot, more variance in your shots. So try and pick a not windy day, but that's what we're doing today, so I apologize if the quality is not the best on that. So last thing I'm gonna say is I'm gonna shoot from 10 yards to start, then I'm gonna go to 20, and hopefully the grouping's good from there. In most hunting situations with turkeys, you're not necessarily shooting over 20 yards of a long shot with a turkey anyways. So I highly recommend just practice 20 yards and in. You can go 30, 40, just see how they fly. But you ask most people, it's probably not the recommended shot. So just make sure you're good from 10 to 20, and you should be good to go. So we're gonna shoot this thing and see what happens. So I'm shooting 70 pounds, not necessary for a turkey. It's just my deer hunting setup, and I haven't toned it down. I'm probably just gonna rock with it anyways. It's already sighted in. So honestly, probably a good idea to turn it down, but I'm not gonna. But like I said, I'm gonna shoot from here. This is 10 yards, just to make sure it's on before we step back to 20. And we're gonna see how it flies. But I'm gonna let the wind die down so I don't send an arrow off into the oblivion. Shot pretty dang good at 10. I can tell you one thing, turkey ain't getting away from that guy. All right, so that shot right there, as you guys saw, pretty dang accurate. I mean, I'm shooting at a piece of tape that's dang near 1 by 2 inches. Looked like it hit a little bit high, but then again, I was shooting at 10 yards with my 20-yard pin. So in theory, it should be a little bit high. But what we're gonna do now, we're back at 20 yards. And I'm gonna see if I can't put this thing right in that black piece of tape. Looked pretty good from here. All right, so that one, we went and double checked the footage. It was a little bit to the left, looked like maybe 3 or 4 inches to the left. Not super ideal, but then again, like I said, these aren't the best conditions. It's windy, our pillow down there is moving, and 20 yards, like I said, especially for this setup, is a little bit of a poke, but just for, experiment's sake and what could possibly happen, I wanna make sure that I'm gonna be able to kill one at 20. That's why we're doing it. That one looked a lot better. All right, guys, so as you can see, I just shot this broadhead in that pillow 4 to 5 times, and I mean, there's no damage to the broadhead at all. The one thing that they recommend is to grab a #1 Phillips and tighten these set screws on here as much as you can, because the one thing that will happen is these blades, when they bend, they'll bend and they'll actually, that's what will ruin the ferrule. And the nice thing about these Magnus Bullhead broadheads is that Magnus actually offers a lifetime guarantee on their blades, which is really cool. Break a blade, anything like that, you just gotta send them a picture or whatnot. Probably do a little bit more information, but they're supposed to send new blades, no questions asked, no bullshit, nothing like that. So if anything happens, just contact them. But like I said, to help prevent the longevity of your, especially just the ferrule, make sure that these set screws are tightened down, and then you should be good to go. But the last thing I was gonna say is I would 100% take this broadhead into the field tomorrow to shoot a turkey. I mean, I'm touching these blades. They are still sharp. If I were to put some pressure and slide that finger, it's gonna cut me. I mean, and then you also gotta imagine this thing's coming at that bird at, you know, 250, 300 feet per second, in between that range, depending on what you're shooting. It's spinning like this. That thing's coming in there with that much kinetic energy. This is a heavy setup. This thing is gonna cause some carnage. So the three things I wanted to touch on was, one, just shooting the broadhead and talking about it. 100% am super excited to use this. Two was, I would highly recommend just buying the package setup with the arrow. Like I said, it's a full length arrow. You're not gonna mess up your fingers. You're not gonna mess up your sight housing. You're gonna clear that riser. It comes with the bigger fletchings. And honestly, three, you could kind of say, or yeah, I guess the third thing would be just shoot the broadheads. Don't go into the field with something you haven't used before that you're not comfortable with. As I just did, I shot it 4 or 5 times, 100% confident that it'll kill a turkey. I didn't have to make any adjustments to my bow, so you should be good, but just make sure. You can always knock tune for a little bit. If you need to make a slight adjustment, just try turning the knock a little bit, just see if you can get that thing to fly a little bit better. But like I said, $6 pill from Walmart, a little bit of duct tape, a little bit of rope, and we got our own range right in our backyard. So that's pretty sick. So that's gonna be it for this. Like I said, Magnus Broadhead Turkey Decapitator, DOC, dead on contact. I'll have the link in the description. And actually, one more thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna give a shout out to Southern String Hat Co. for this hat right here. I'll put them in the description as well. As also as Buck Wild Co. That's the company that makes this sweatshirt. They sent me this, and they both got some great products. So I'll put both of their links in the bio, or in the description, my bad. But that's gonna be it for now. Hopefully 2 weeks, we got a video that comes out of this thing taking a turkey's head off, and we're good to go. So we'll catch you on the next one.